All right, guys, so I got a couple pieces of news, just a couple, before we jump into the review for tonight's movie, which was The Death of Robin Hood, directed by the director of Pig with Nicolas Cage, and also the director for the Death Stranding adaptation, the video game, which is really interesting and even more comforting having seen what I've seen with The Death of Robin Hood. Visually, Death Stranding is going to be on another level. But before I even get to that movie, I want to talk about two pieces of news that have me excited. Now, they're both horror news, okay? One is less horror news, but still horror adjacent. So I'm going to start with that one, which is the Batman 2. Matt Reeves posted a thing on Instagram that I'll post somewhere on frame. And it's the next clue, which I'm assuming is simply the first teaser to the Batman Part 2. I'm assuming it is a teaser. Wild time to release that teaser, considering the movie won't release till next October, but I'm not going to complain about any Batman news anytime soon. So we'll see what he has in store, but that 0812 is pretty apparent that is a date. That has to be a date. So we'll see. August 12th, we'll be here either really disappointed or really happy about something. The second news that I have is really, really exciting for Evil Dead, because Evil Dead Wrath, the next movie after Evil Dead Burn, has finished production. Now, what's funny is that this movie is not going to come out till 2028 on April. Why the fuck they need a year's worth of post-production, I don't know, but you know what? That means there's no excuses. This movie's going to look majestic. What I really love that has me excited for this more than Burn is that this is shot in Ektachrome 100 film stock. All right. This movie is going to take place in 1972. All right. This is a prequel to Sam Raimi's original, and it is shot like a film of its time. That is incredible and exactly what I've been wanting from Evil Dead in terms of like finally doing something to shake shit up. I really think that the next installments have to shake up something. And I've always been very, very excited for the idea of a period piece Evil Dead. All right. Particularly for me, I would love to see an Evil Dead that takes place during the Salem witch trials. Just come on, it fucking writes itself, okay? Imagine Salem witch trials, a falsely accused woman decides to find the Necronomicon and damn the entire time be like, you want a witch? Well, here you fucking go. Not only did I bring you witch, but I brought you Satan and the entire Legion. Like, that would be so cool. I would love to see a medieval kind of like Army of Darkness. I would love to see like a straight up medieval Evil Dead. I mean, if we're gonna really go down this if we're gonna anthologize the entire fucking thing, might as well take risks. Something I feel the Predator series is doing by taking it to the future and then doing the animated film where they took it to the time of the samurai and Vikings. So let's fucking do this with Evil Dead. If we're gonna do this, let's do this. And I feel like this is the first sure sign that we're going to start going back in time, which I'm excited for. So I'm going to be very excited for that one. But nonetheless, we have Evil Dead Burn next month, so I can't get greedy. I'm just saying, I thought that was fantastic news, and I thought them taking that jump, that aesthetic, that's going to set it apart from the modern films in a big way, like in a huge way. I'm all down for this. So anyway, those are my two pieces of news that I thought were worth mentioning on the channel. But let's talk about this motherfucking movie. Now, while I'm going to keep this spoiler free, there's a thing I think people have to know before going into this movie. And it's that, once again, we have marketing doing a disservice to the kind of story that this film is. And I did see a couple people walk out of the film, not because of the quality, I'm sure, because the quality of this film is beautiful. I mean, it's an A24 movie. It is majestic. It is probably the most beautifully shot movie I'll see all year, hands down. This thing looked like There's so many shots in here. I remember going like, this is so Dark Souls inspired. Like some of these shots look like they're straight out of Dark Souls. It's all also, it reminded me a little bit of The Green Knight, which is another A24 movie, though it doesn't lean into mythology the way The Green Knight does at all. It has that look of mythology that was just astounding. And again, this guy's going to direct Death Stranding. If he does half of what he did for this, the landscape shots and the visuals are going to be stunning. This movie is a trip visually. It's absolutely beautiful, but the marketing doesn't do it justice, because I think people walked out because what they were getting was a movie that was not marketed to them. If you go into this movie expecting straight up warfare, carnage, candy, and violence, you are going to get that for the first 25 minutes. And then after that, the rest of the film, there is no violence. There is no violence in this movie after that. And I don't consider that as much of a spoiler, because I genuinely think that the marketing is selling this movie as something that it isn't. And in order to keep you from walking the fuck out like some of these people did because they weren't getting the movie that they wanted, I'm letting you know right now, the first 25 minutes of this movie are brutal. We're talking the Northman levels of violence, like really brutal, violent, bloody. I mean, I was putting hair on my chest. I could feel my testosterone rise. I was clapping. I was like, holy shit, is this the whole movie? Because we've gone hard as fuck in the first 25 minutes. The violence is guttural. It's in your face. It is instant. It is gruesome. It is violent. It is horror movie levels of gore. And I was so proud to sit there and witness it. It was fantastic. And I was getting excited. I was really excited. I was like, wow, this is just the first 25 minutes. But then the movie pivots completely. And it uses the violence as a setup for a movie that is very much about reflection of violence and legacy. And what happens to a story when you it starts as one thing and then it exchanges hands and it becomes more and more, what's the word that I'm looking for? You guys know the word. It grows. With every person speaking it, they add a lie to that narrative, and that narrative grows into this huge mythology that is Robin Hood. The movie is about him reflecting all that after he gets injured in the first 25 minutes of the film. He finds himself in a orchard farm with people who end up taking care of him. And in that time, he ends up reflecting on all of the violence that he's caused and the story of Robin Hood as it's grown. What is true, what isn't, but really what people hear and what he's lived in order to make those stories sound the way they do. The reality of those stories from his eyes is full of violence and anguish and loss, and glorifying him is what he doesn't want, because he's taken a lot of lives. This is not like your normal, take from the rich and give to the poor. Like, some of the stories are lies. Some of the stories are truths, but sprinkled in with some lies. Like this movie grounds the mythology of Robin Hood that we've seen numerous versions of through films and books and even like alternate versions in comic books. Like Robin Hood is a huge character, very much akin to like Zorro. And it was super awesome to see a story of Robin Hood akin to that of Beowulf. A lot of the narrative here reminded me of Beowulf, the sort of aged king. While it doesn't have the mythological elements, it does. There is an element in the Beowulf story that is about reflection and the violence that comes with that legacy at that time, and it's fucking heavy, dude. At a certain point after the violence, the movie makes you feel like it's building up to something, but then you kind of realize that what it's building up to is more synonymous with grief and resentment and something super inward and internal. And it's no longer about the violence. The violence was a presentation. It was like giving you insight on this world, his world, and how desensitized he is to all the violence, because when I say that the movie gives no fucks, the first 25 minutes, dude, everyone gets it. Absolutely fucking everyone, including children, and they don't cut away. They show you that shit, and I'm telling you, there's some fights here that are dirty, grimy, and oppressive, and I loved it. And the shots were uninterrupted, so there's a couple long takes that are just really do lead you to believe that this movie is going to be like, so much production went into those fight sequences. You feel like the movie is going to be that, but it doesn't. It sets the stage for something that is methodical and thought-provoking and depressing and oppressive and gruesome and dark. And you know, while he's in this orchard, there are elements of the story that creep into this orchard that almost make it feel like the danger from outside is following him inside, and he deals with that paranoia, and he deals with opening up, and there's a slow dread that's creeping through this movie that makes it feel haunting. Like you haven't seen his entire life, but you can feel every ounce of dread and grief that he's dealing with how he treats people when they come on the island and they're injured, and he thinks that they're there to kill him. Like, Hugh Jackman did an incredible job. I mean, he's always done great. Obviously, Prisoners is one of his best roles, but I mean, this role, you know, going from the beginning of this movie, just like very savage violence, to more subtle, more nuanced take on his character, where you like see the pain in his eyes, and every line of dialogue is minimal but means something. Seeing him act without using words, and when he does use words, they're not wasted. Like, his character of Robin Hood is so tragic. It's so tragic, and and he's so wounded, and you see that in his face, you see that in his complexion. You forget it's Hugh, man, and that's what I like about specific actors. You know, I don't care about the big name actors. I don't like jump on a movie whenever I see an actor. Like, I like Robert Pattinson right now, is like my favorite current actor. Ryan Gosling, Bill Skarsgård, who's in this. But it's because they disappear into roles, and I don't see those actors. I don't see them. I see the role. Like, and Hugh absolutely disappeared in this to a point where you forget everything else he's done, you know? And it's like, I forgot anything else. I wasn't thinking Wolverine until now, where I make the comparison, but I wasn't thinking Wolverine while I was watching it, or Logan, or Prisoners. I was watching this broken down Logan-esque Robin Hood, and it was really deep. It cut hard for me, and at a certain moment when I realized and settled into, like, okay, we're not getting any more battle sequences. This is more of a creeping, dreadful, oppressive atmosphere of a movie that is exploring a man who can't let go of violence and is seeking death. The whole point of it is that he wants to die. He's open to dying. And there's an exploration there of that, you know, where the movie kind of makes you wonder, does he have a death wish? Is he the way he is because he just can't turn back time? This movie's heavy in the best ways. And when it finally kicked in that I wasn't getting like another big set piece, and that they gave us all that at the beginning of the movie, and I settled into what it was, I found myself incredibly touched by this story that is very dark and oppressive, and it didn't need the violence after those for the rest of the movie to put that across, because the violence again was just put there to give you a glimpse of what he's carrying, and they did a great fucking job. So I really, really did like this movie. I would say even loved it. It was potent. And I'm definitely looking forward to buying it on Blu-ray and watching it and dissecting it. It's one of those movies. So I don't think it's going to be for everybody. And if you're expecting a straight up, like, kind of like The Northman, which was what I was kind of expecting, you'll only get that for the first 25 minutes. But I promise you, if you set your expectations right, you'll be in for a surprise. Like, this movie was banging for me. So if this sounds interesting to you and you're even remotely curious, definitely go watch it. Watch it at a matinee. There's a lot here, man. I'm very excited to see what he does with Death Stranding now. Like, 100%. It's gonna be great. Anyway, that's it for my review for tonight. Look forward to tomorrow's Leviticus review and The Voice of Mother on Shudder. And that's it, man. Drop down in the comments below what you've been watching. I want to know what you guys have been watching, what you guys are excited for. Would you guys be interested in me doing like some watch-alongs? I know that, I guess reactions to movies, not watch. I know we're gonna do watch-alongs at some point, but I want to do like, I record myself watching a movie you guys recommended, and let me know if you guys are interested in that kind of reaction. I don't know. I feel like I'd be self-indulgent to be like, yeah, you guys are gonna love it. So actually, let me know if you guys would like that. Also, I was thinking about doing and I might have mentioned it before, a Cosmic Spines kind of special for the show where I review books or comic books that I've been reading. I just reread Absolute Batman Volume 1 in preparation for Volume 3 coming out in August. I'm really excited. I love Batman. I'm a Batman bitch. I got him tattooed on my leg. Like, listen, Batman all day. So I've been reading that, and there's a lot of horror comic books that I also read that I think you guys might like. So if you're interested in like having me implement that into the channel, and you think that'd be something that would keep you watching, let me know, and I'll do the occasional like comic, Cosmic Spines special event where I review books or comic books that are horror in nature or Batman in nature. So, yeah, man, that's it. That's all I got for you guys, man. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you at the movies.